Today's episode isn't about perfect love. It's about lasting love. The kind that shows up on ordinary days. The kind that learns, stretches, apologizes, and chooses commitment over convenience. Marriage is built in the small moments, in how we listen, how we speak when emotions run high, and how we decide to stay soft in a world that hardens hearts. Long-term love means growing together. Even when growth is uncomfortable, it means remembering that you're on the same team, even in the seasons of tension. So wherever you are in your journey, newly married, seasoned, healing, or hoping, this conversation is just for you. Now let's talk about love that lasts.
Babe.
Hello there.
Hey, look at there. We all popping in. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you all?
Doing good.
Good.
Excited about tonight. We got love. We got our sister and brother Cedric and Danielle on here. Sister, you must be hot.
No, I'm okay right now. I just saw my set head shining.
Are you good? Oh, okay. Y'all good? All right. Let me see. Who all we got tuning in tonight? Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's see. We'll give everybody a few moments to some to come in, and let me log into our YouTube really quick because this is going to be an awesome conversation. Got our sister Laura joining us. Our other sister is under the weather today, so we got them Star Wars faces on the scene. All right, I am on YouTube. I like to make sure that I am on there so I can see comments coming in and we don't miss anything or anyone, should I say. So we're super excited about tonight. Who we got out there? Look, there go Mama.
Of course.
Mama. Yeah.
Hey,
Mama.
Best family. Yeah, Mama, you didn't know saying Danielle was joining us, did you? Surprise. Yeah, because she called me early. She said, y'all going on, Sunshine, right? I said, yes, ma'am. She's like, okay. Let me go so I can make sure I'm ready. Yes, but we'll give just a few moments. I'm excited about tonight. We all know that they call February the love month. And in actuality, it's a lifelong journey of love, right? It should be. And a lot of times that's what there's lack thereof, is people really understanding what that looks like, what that means. Mama, no, I didn't, but amen, amen, amen. She happy to see y'all. Yeah, so and so we're going to talk about that because, kind of piggybacking off of last week, we talked about love lessons, me and sis. And then tonight we have our sis and bruh joining us. So we can talk about this conversation as well, marriage and lasting love. So I'm going to, we're going to be asking a couple of questions and we're going to answer these questions and kind of dialogue. Okay. So how y'all feeling tonight? Y'all good? Y'all ready?
Yep.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be on my best behavior.
Yeah. You know we like to have fun now. We fun, but get it out. Shoot. Huh?
So I'm gonna try to be good.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to be good. Who else we got tuning in tonight? Y'all remember I can't see you unless you say hello or something. I don't know who's tuning in unless you say who you are and where you're tuning in and who out there. So okay. But otherwise, if you don't want to say who you are and you're just listening in, praise God as well. And thank you for tuning in to get some of these nuggets that we'll be talking about tonight. You know, we have the topic up marriage and lasting love. So just before we get into these questions or these bullet points, when we hear marriage and lasting love, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And we'll begin to kind of dialogue. Babe, let's start with you.
Commitment.
Okay,
Commitment. Dedication. Being committed, because it's not something that it doesn't happen all of a sudden. You have to work at it. Prime example with these two. They 30 years?
30, yeah.
You're working on 31. In a couple months it'll be 31.
Yeah, in a
Thank
couple of
God.
months it'll be 30.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
we were right there. We were right there with y'all,
Right.
but we wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what comes to mind to me.
Yeah.
Being committed to each other.
Yeah.
And
That's
tolerating
good,
each other.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Woo, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah. And I think it goes beyond even a tolerate.
Oh, yes.
I think when you think about, for me, when I think about tolerate, that's I got to deal with this, or I got to, it's your perspective when you say that. And I think what that means is, for me, it goes beyond tolerate. It's okay. I choose.
Yeah.
I choose. So every day we have to choose to, be unified. You know what I'm saying? To choose one another every single day. First and foremost, we have to choose us, right? And then from choosing us, we choose each other. Okay, because understand this, we are a unit in covenant, but we're still individuals that are coming together so we can move as one. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say tolerate, I would say I choose you again and again and again. And then with that comes sacrifice that we have to do. You see what I'm saying? So I just reworded that word because I really don't like to tolerate, because if I'm tolerating somebody, I really don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're putting that.
So,
I say it's
next.
it's a lot of words that I have. So there's devotion, you're devoted to one another. It's desire for one another. You have the friendship. Friendship is very important. You know what I mean? Because of course we age, we change, our seasons, and we our everything changes. You know what I mean? In seasons, in time, our thought process. But you did make a good point of saying, I choose you, I desire you. I lust after you. You know what I mean? I should be lusting after my own. You know what I mean? And
right. Yes. So true.
I mean, it's true, because these are things that are true emotions, things that happen, and how we feel. And if we take our mindset and we shift it to something else or some other distraction, then all of that will go in that direction. And you know what I mean? And it's the smallest things. You know what I mean? So
right.
I ask God, and that my desires, my devotion, everything is centered around, like you said, yourself first, God, and then
Come on.
myself, and then my husband, because if you're using your word choose, I'm choosing God first and foremost because He is He established love and
Come on.
the union between man and woman, and because of that, it ultimately I have to choose God first, and then I have to say open up myself for that. When you do that, He can pour into you and give you the desires that you want for your husband or for the your wife, the mate that
Right.
He's given you. And it's just renewing. It's a renewal of your mind, renewing of everything. It's new. Keep it new. Keep it. You know what I mean? It's a
Fresh.
mindset too. It's so much. There's tenderness. There's it's yearning. You know what I mean? All kind of things that I think about. When I think about love and
Yes.
that's lasting love. So yeah, and I'll probably dive into it more. I'll probably
she's gonna have some questions, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I got some questions. Yeah. Yeah.
You can hear me.
Oh, you want to hear from me?
Said, do you want to caveat it on there?
I would say I think one of the biggest things that people always say when it comes down to marriage and relationships in general is hey, communication, right? And I take that a step further because it becomes, we say it so much, it becomes cliche, right? Because I can tell Bunny right now, hey, I'll be back. I'm getting ready to go. She's like, where are you going? Well, I'm just getting ready to go. Well, I just communicated with you, right? But I didn't speak with you. I didn't have a conversation. And so communication has to become conversation. So for a marriage, you think about 30 plus years with one person in your life and whatnot, and uh, what it takes to make it that long, and through all the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, and then having other people that may have an opinion on certain things that they may know about that transpired, and you're like, girl, if I was you, I would have did this. Man, if I was you, I would have did that. Well, you're not me, and that's probably the reason why you are where you are and we are where we are. So we have conversations about things, so much so that it's become so much more comfortable. I go out, I do a little extra, hustling on the side, right? And Bunny like, I want to go with you. And I'm like, okay, cool. You can go with me. But when you do come with me, I'm going to need you to chill out. I'm going to need you to relax. I'm gonna need if you're going to be on the passenger side, I'm going to need you to stay on the passenger side. Right. And what I mean by that is if I'm behind a vehicle and that vehicle is going slow and I choose not to just go around them at the moment, chill out. It's going to be all right. Wherever you're going is going to be there. So it's a conversation. I wasn't telling her. I'm just saying, hey, if you come with me, I would prefer that, or I would, say that just relax, because if you're not able to relax, you probably want to stay here because it's probably going to make my experience a little bit different. Okay, not bad, but different. Right. And so she didn't get like, oh, you don't like my company. No, I love it. But I'm just telling you, just because for me, when I recognize that when she drives, in places that it's not my time to open my mouth. So you have to know when to communicate and when to have these conversations with folks, and how to frame that conversation, right? How to frame your communication, and timing is important when you talk about marriage and lasting love. Timing, framing, understanding, comprehension.
Come on.
Right? I tell you something all day long, but if you don't comprehend what I'm saying, then we're in trouble. I wish this was mine, but it's not. I always find these little diamonds that said, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Yeah.
Come on now. Oh, that's good.
I can explain something to you, but I can't understand it for you. So there has to be a degree of comprehension in a relationship as well. And you really have to be open to hearing what the other person is saying. And that's universal. That's not even just within, in marriage. And the last thing I'll say about that, you're talking about picking battles. You got to choose which things are worthy of responding to as well. Some things are just not, they're just not worth the response. Not that it's not important, but it's no big deal. And I say universally so, and you just incorporate those things in your marriage, because guess what? I was told that at work, and talking to this man, 91 years old. That man is upset because of the way the system works. He doesn't know me from a can of paint. But in that 91-year-old man's mind, I was stupid. The company is dumb. You're dumb. And you know what I did? But I guess I'll let you go ahead and finish doing what you're doing. All right, sir. I definitely appreciate that. Give me just a few moments and I'll get you squared away.
Right.
So
Silent.
fire takes fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, you and I finna get no gasoline from me.
Right.
So I let him have his moment, get it out his system. The man probably fought in World War II. What I look like getting mad at.
Yeah.
Right? So I let him get it out his system. And at the end of it all, he came back and said, I want to thank you for not being nasty and not rushing me off the phone. And, he said, even though I was nasty to you, you didn't give that back. So some things are non-reciprocal.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you gave that to me, I'm gonna give it. No, you don't have to. It's a choice. And that's all I say before we get too deep into that.
That was good. Yeah, that's really good. And I love that, and it's in perspective. You know what I'm saying? And like Will said, 30 years. We've been in each other's lives for 32 years, but they stuck and stayed for 30 years. Married. You know what I'm saying? And so that speaks volume. So we have some a seasoned marriage on here with us tonight. So I love that. And so we're gonna break these questions down. And it's actually not really questions, it's statements. And then we're gonna kind of talk about them, okay? So first one here. Keep love intentional after I do. How do we keep love intentional after I do? That's a good one. I think we'll start.
It is a good
one. So I think for me, let me just put it like that. How do I keep love intentional after I do? I think about that literally, you guys, every single day. Because I don't know if you guys do it, but every day in our home, I walk past our wedding picture every day, all day long. And I look at it and I'm like, that was the most amazing day yet. Of course, beyond having my children, whatever. But I think about that day and the day that we said we do again. This is again for us. And I said, if we keep that in the forefront and remember and are reminded why we said I do again and how beautiful that moment was for us to be in front of our family, our friends, what you got. These two were there. It was just beautiful and it was amazing. And I look at the picture and I'm like, we're looking at one another and I'm like, that's my dude. Yeah, that's my dude. And I love him. I think about that when I look at it, and it's like, I love you with your big head self, and I'll talk about a picture. And then, but it reminds me, and it's intentional. It's intentional for me to remember, every single day why I said I do, why this man is still in my life after 30 some years,
right.
And God did not, for some reason, because we know we are purpose partners, we're purpose, and for some reason he did not separate us. He separated us, like I was sharing with somebody yesterday. I said sometimes, and I think I talked to you too, Sissy, about this. Sometimes we have to reposition people in our lives and they hold different, they're in different areas. Hey baby girl, we see you. Hey, baby. Our extension right there. But
right.
But so I was just letting somebody know yesterday and a couple of days prior. Sometimes we have to reposition people in our lives until the fruit that's coming from that tree is the character is right. And so me and my sissy was talking about that yesterday, and I said I was explaining to someone, we were talking about forgiveness. and me and Willie Greene are the walking testimonies of what true forgiveness looks like. You know what I'm saying? In spite of everything that we have endured in our lives and in our relationship, and so I told them, but then they asked the question, but we forgive, but we're supposed to forget as well, right? And the thing about what I was sharing with them is God don't want us to be fools, right? He said, I will not have you ignorant of the enemy's devices. So if you see that the fruit that's coming from this tree is not good, and when I say tree, it's a person and their character and who they are, then that just means you need to reposition people in your lives. Yeah, you forgive them. You forgive them from the heart, but then you are still wise to say, okay, well, the fruit that's still coming from you, it's not for one that needs to be in my space, right?
Right.
And so I told my sister yesterday, I said, even me and Willie Greene, we had to separate. He was in a different position in my life. I was in a different position in his life until God brought it full circle, brought us back around. And then I moved here into New Mexico, and I was able to see the fruit that was coming from that tree. This time, what did I see? Love. I saw compassion. I saw support, true support. He has me. You know what I'm saying? Communication, like you said, you choose. You choose what and how you speak to one another. There's still a little bit of that needs to grow, in the speaking, how you speak to one another. And that's every single day. And we're like, okay, so I'm intentional, but even still, people have to be repositioned until they earn the right to be in your immediate space or circle, right? So I was just wanted to put that little caveat in there, because I had to explain that to him. He don't want us to be no fools either. And when we forgive, yes, we forgive from the heart, but that does not mean that person still holds the same space in your life.
Right.
And so I just think keeping love intentionally after I do. So that's how I do. And literally, if I see, Willie Greene is really good with this too. If he sees a need, he don't even ask me. He just does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, babe, you was paying attention. Yeah, I was. And I just, look, let me tell y'all something. This man right here, in his 30-something years, he don't like buying years. He don't like buying real. I love roses. Love me some roses. He don't like buying real roses. You know why? Because in a week they're gonna die anyway. I said it don't matter, but it's something that I love, that I like. You don't have to do it all the time, but here and there, I would love some roses, some fresh, fresh roses in the water. I can smell them, and he knows my red, white, pink. Those are my colors. I love those in the roses. So I told him this is probably like maybe the third or fourth time I've gotten some real roses in 30-some years. But what he did this past Valentine's Day, I thought, of course, he was just going to give me a gift, right? And so he asked me, he said, babe, there's a package that's coming in the mail. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking it's one of his packages. So I put it in his office, and then there was two of them. I said, okay, there's one, but it has my name on it. I was like, I ain't finna open that. I don't know what it is. And I thought it was my Valentine's Day from my baby girl, because she sent me something as well. Right. And I'm like, okay, that's probably from baby girl. I'll get that on when I get out, because I was on my break. He calls, babe, did a package come in with your name on it? I said, well, yeah, it did. I thought it was baby girl's, but I already opened hers. He was like, it's yours. And I was like, okay, I'll open it after I get off from work. So I get off from work, and it's this long box. And I was like, what could that be? And it was kind of heavy. And I'm like, I'm having a hard time putting this thing on the table. So I got it, and with him there, and I opened it up, and I was like, this man done bought me, had fresh roses delivered to me. He had a box of chocolate covered strawberries delivered to me a watch. I was like, you know what? You sure right, baby. I love you too. Thank you. You know, because I know that took sacrifice. It's like, I know that this is what she loves. I don't like to buy them because they just gonna die, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I know this is what she loves. He paid attention to me. That's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I was like, baby, thank you. I love you, boy. I love you. You know, that's intentional, and that's paying attention to something that he heard me. And that made me feel good because I was like, he heard me and he paid attention. That means he literally cares about how I feel.
Exactly.
And so that was just prime example of intentional. And even with him, you know, if there's a need or if I see something, it could be the small things, you guys, but I purpose to make sure our home stays in solitude and it's our sanctuary. You know, I'm praying for us. You know, if I'm making sure he good, you good, babe? You all right? You know, and then I can see and sense if he's in pain or anything like that. And then I just do what I need to do. But it's intentional. And this is showing this person, I love you and I got you.
Right.
Right. So, okay, I'll stop talking, but I just wanted to share that piece. Next. He know who butter his biscuit. I know that's right, baby girl. Say it. All right.
I think piggyback up with something that you said, sis, about forgiveness and forgiveness and basically that person being in your life. It's seasonal. It could be just for a pit stop. It could be for whatever. It could be forever. So just because you forgive a person, and typically forgive it to the point of forgetting, I still see I still see the same behaviors in that person. You know what I mean? Why would I subject myself to continued behavior? Because it shows me that God still has some work for you to do. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to put myself in a situation where the abuse or whatever is said verbally, whatever is going on, that to continue that put myself in harm's way, so to speak. I'm not going to do that. Doesn't mean I haven't forgiven you. Doesn't mean I don't love you. But I just know that there's areas of growth for you. You know what I mean? Or for which we all have it. But ultimately, if it's something that's not productive towards me or not uplifting or it's not positive, I'm not going to subject myself to it. I'll pray for you and I'll give you, and ultimately when that change happens within that person, you know, you'll be able to see it. You'll know it. God will tell you that. And it's in their behaviors and how they speak to you and how they approach you. But if it's the same based on what they've done to you in the past, no,
right.
You don't put yourself in harm's way, so to speak.
Come on, that's good. Thank you, sis, for explaining that. That is so good because that's truth. Okay, so who else wants to share keeping love intentional after I do?
He will be writing down things. No, well, if you want to go ahead, if you want.
No, I mean,
babe, you want to go ahead or say it? We waiting on the men now. Come on with it.
I think you know you touched on the part about after you say I do. With us, for me, I would go back all the way back. There's things that I did early in our marriage, when I was in Germany, when I was SOS. My mom didn't understand what I meant when I said SOS. She said, she said, what is that? I said, stuck on stupid. She said, no, you weren't stuck on stupid. You were just green. I said, Mom, you don't know, how I was raised and whatnot. I had to move a certain way. But when I left my parents' house, I had determined that I wasn't gonna let nobody else tell me what I can and can't do. I'm tired of that. Because I had my parents, you can and can't do this. I had my college, you can and can't do this. When I was playing football, I couldn't even have a goatee playing football. You had to cut your face. I'm like, this ain't the military. Then I joined the military, and guess what? Can and can't do this. Then I got married, and you can and can't do this. But I was there is where I said, nobody else is going to tell me what I can and can't do. So we had said I do, right? and we still had that growing process because I
Come on.
heard you say earlier we weren't ready. Well, I wasn't. She probably was. I wasn't. I can tell you I wasn't. But what I did know is I would never meet anyone else like her, and I wanted to snatch her up, but then I wanted to do other things as well, and hang with my friends and all of that kind of thing. So after I do, you really have to be open to growth. You
Come
really
on.
have to be open to change, and you got to pray for it, right? You got to pray for it, and then start acting upon your prayer. So if there's something that as far as I knew, I love to go out and all this other stuff, and so I had to take that restless spirit away from me, right? And so once that was taken away from me, and it took years, guys, it took years. But the one thing about it is it wasn't an immediate keep things intentional after I do. This was a growing process, things that we had to learn together. I always share with people, I've been with my wife longer than I was with my parents.
Come on.
So, and she's a person who doesn't have my actual blood flowing in her veins that I feel loves me more than they do, to be honest. And I don't quantify that, but I feel like she's more down for me. I know she, it's like no feel or believe. I know she's more down for me than, folks who are quote unquote family.
Right.
So the biggest thing that we learned was agreement. We talk about being equally yoked. That's a form of agreement. We
Come
agree
on.
that we want to have a marriage that stands the test of time. We agree that we want to make sure that we tell each other that we love each other. We agree that we want to make sure that we are looking out for each other, and it doesn't have to be these grand gestures, but small things. My wife wanted to go to Jacksonville to visit her cousin and our friend Tamika. Okay, so what I say is, okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and take the car. I'm gonna get it washed. I'm gonna make sure I got the oil changed on that bad boy. I'm gonna make sure the tire pressure is good. I'm gonna make sure the lug nuts and all that stuff, everything is straight on the vehicle. Got it all, squared away. Filled the windshield washer fluid because I know on that highway going up and down the floor, the bugs and all that. No reason for her to have any car trouble that I feel like is within my control. She didn't have to say, "Hey, babe, will you do this?" Put gas in it the night before so she don't have to stop and stand outside at nobody's gas station. She had to do it on the way back. Okay, fine. But before she left, those little small things. She goes to the grocery store before she leaves. Hey, what do you guys need? You guys need this. You guys need water. She's not talking just about me. She's talking about me and Terrence since we're both here. That's an agreement. I will
Come on.
take care of you. You will take care of me. And I know this, and neither one of us have to really ask about it. You mentioned will and those roses. That's a big thing. Hearing someone and
Yes.
and then acting on it again, no matter how you feel about it. For example, I'm not really too keen on being plugged into the matrix with this Valentine's thing or any other holiday for that matter. That's a whole different podcast. But I'm serious
Yeah.
because I feel that no, I don't discount it,
I
but
know, but
we're
you're
so
saying
programmed to do
right.
things because somebody else said you should that it
Everyday
destroys
things.
relationships. I've
Right.
done great things throughout these 364 days, and that one day, uh, if he and you hear these people on social media, if he doesn't do this for you, girl, he ain't for you. But I've never heard nobody say, dude, if she don't do this for you, she ain't for you.
Right.
Because so the agreement has to be mutual. Like, I'm gonna take care of you, I don't care what day it is. So
Come
now let
on.
me talk about this hearing thing. Bunny comes down and she says, I know, Valentine's is still a thing with her. So she comes down, she says, she's standing over there. I'm sitting in front of the TV. She said, "Hey, did you come downstairs because you wanna go to breakfast?" I did.
Right. Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Now, even though she mentioned that, that was her way of saying, "Hey, do you want to go to breakfast on it's Valentine's Day?" I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be good. There's this new place we wanted to try." So that's what we did. We had a good time. We laughed, we talked, and whatever. And that was, and then we brought home something for Terrence. But that is the agreement.
Come on.
There's an agreement, and that is so deep when you talk about the agreement. You have to have an agreement that when things get rough, we're going to press through.
Yeah.
When things get a little sketchy, we're going to figure out a way to work through that. What does that look like? I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when that joker comes.
Right.
Just know that everything's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies. All right.
Yeah.
But when it's gnats and flies, what we doing?
Right. Come on.
When it's the pestilence, the pests that come into your life in various forms, what do you do? And I didn't always get that right. I speak for me. I don't speak for anything or any way that I felt that, there's things that I knew like Bunny would do, and I'm like, man, that really annoys me, right? But it wasn't such to a point where it did anything, to change how I felt. It was trivial. I would always look at me and say, dude, you're tripping. That's really trivial. And if it was worth a conversation, we would have a conversation. Not me telling you.
We were having a conversation.
But me saying, hey, sweetheart, I just want to bring this to your attention. I wasn't even aware I was doing that.
I'm like, oh,
yeah, you do it a lot, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention before it becomes a thing that really starts to hurt me to the point where I'm now making up excuses as to why I don't want to do XYZ or why, whatever it may be.
Right.
Agreement and being equally yoked is huge. There was a time she's pulling in one direction, we're at the yoke, she's pulling in one direction, I'm pulling in the other, and we just kind of just right here.
Right.
Because you have to be pulling in the same direction in order for this thing to work. If I decide to go right, saying, hey, I'm gonna have a conversation, I think if we go right, we're gonna run into this, it's gonna be better for us, and then we both turn, we both pivot. So the agreement aspect of it, in the small things like listening, we agree to listen and hear each other. Now, you may not always get what it is that you may be asking for, hitting to, alluding to, or whatever, and vice versa, right? So there's agreement and being intentional with your discipline,
come on,
in various aspects of your life. I think is what leads to, a lasting love. If you have the lasting love, you should is big word, have a lasting marriage.
Right.
All big words. But that's my take on it.
That's good. Ooh, that's real good. Yeah, babe.
I don't even know what's left to say.
How do you keep love intentional after we said I do?
You guys covered all of it pretty much. And Cedric's right, that communication, that conversation, something that, that needs to be had. The communication has to be there.
Right.
Like you say, you're doing something that irks me, and like you said, oh man, what are you even thinking about? It's trivial.
Right.
That's something that I got to work through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's exactly right. That communication is everything. When we got back together, I told you that, ain't no more, waiting till later to talk about it. We're going to talk about it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest. Whatever's going on, get it off your chest.
Right.
That's the way I feel about it. And he's exactly right. That communication and that conversation has to happen. Between the two. Not worrying about what anybody else is thinking. Like he said on social media, if he don't do this, and now that's why I don't do social media. It's too much negativity for me.
Right.
Me myself, it's too much negativity, and I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
I really can't. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like things what they are.
Yeah.
I like things nice and quiet.
Yeah. A lot of stuff you see on social media is how to have a lasting relationship by someone who hasn't had a relationship the past 3 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Did you see you with XYZ on what 3
Yeah,
months
you
ago?
know, it's you'll see how to keep a woman, like some dude
Right.
that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Females too,
And I'm just
see.
saying,
Yeah.
I use guys because everybody's always coming down on females about the stuff they say on socials, but dudes are way out there too on that
Come
bull
on
stuff.
now.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why I look at it and I laugh. I'm like, man, y'all crazy. I tell my wife all the time, and a lot of other folks, like, first of all, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm glad we got married before social media, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
Right.
my man, I was out there.
Yeah.
Would have been viral.
yeah.
So
Right. Oh, it was, I'd have been like, yeah.
Right. Mama said, tell it.
Listen, I'm serious. So you know that's the thing too. Ownership, man. You gotta own. You
Mhm.
gotta own your stuff. What's my part in it? I can't. Money can't make me do nothing.
Come
Yeah.
on.
When I said, well, I did because you love. No, that was in me. I did. It was a decision I made, and I can
Yeah.
use you as a scapegoat because it makes me feel better about the effed up decision that I made, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes right down to it, the question is, what was my part in it?
Mhm.
I played a part.
Right.
How big of a part I played? Well, that's debatable, but I played a part, and maybe you did play a part in it, but the decision was mine
Right.
to do
Absolutely.
Right.
whatever thing or to not do whatever thing.
Mhm.
So, you know, ownership is
Yep.
important
Very
when it comes to
important.
marriage and lasting love. Ownership and agreement, boy, woo. You know, you put two people in a room, it's got one door, no windows, the door is unlocked. And if they sitting there arguing about how to get out,
Right.
there's one door. It's unlocked.
Come
Yeah.
on.
What are y'all arguing about?
Yeah.
I think I should go out first.
Well, I think I should go out first. Well, why you got to go out first? What's so important? Well,
Right.
why you got to be first?
What?
Yeah.
The whole time you're trying to get out of this room that's filling up with toxic energy and toxic gas, and y'all sitting there arguing about who get to go out first.
Right.
Hey,
Somebody
let's
take
to
it.
go out together.
Come on now.
Yep.
So anyway,
That's right.
let me get off that. But yeah, man, really, what? Let me stop.
That's good. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. That's really good. Well, I have another one here. Actually, I have a couple of them, but I think I'll ask this one first. When marriage looks different than you imagined in the beginning, how do you respond to that? So you might like say, for instance, for me, when I was young, I knew as a young girl I was going to be married, and I was going to have 2 children. My boy was going to come first, and my girl was going to come second. That's exactly how God did it, right? And I had this fairy tale of me and my husband and my children. We're going to live in this big white house, this white picket fence. You know, we had our little dogs running around, and we got some of it going on right now. We got our little angel; she runs around, right? But you know, and I had this vision of what I wanted my marriage to look like at my mindset at that time, right? And as I got older, I knew that I still wanted and desired my husband, right? And so I was like, oh, this man is gonna love me. We're gonna do this. It was literally fairy tale, right? And that's like I love when me and Will got married this time. My cousin was like, she finally gets to have her fairy tale wedding that she's dreamed of, right? And to be the truly the fairy tale would have been on a beach somewhere, right? We didn't make it there. Like, he wanted to, but I was like, babe, come on, we can't be changing at the last dang minute. 2 months before the wedding, we just gonna go get married in Mexico at the beach. No, people can't come. So we had this. I had this thought of how I wanted my marriage and wedding to look like, right? And I just take it back to the first time that we were married. It looked totally contrary to what God showed me as a little girl growing up. And I said, this is different. And so I looked at that marriage at that time, those people at that time, and looked at our marriage today and looked at these people at this time. And I said, it looks completely different than what I imagined. And now, and the reason I say that is because it's just so much peace in our relationship, our marriage. There's not a lot of like it used to be, like you said we were doing this. We were doing this, but now we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and we're older, we're wiser, and it does look different, and I'm like, wow, Father. But then even in the different, for me, I have to remember, this is what you prayed for. You know what I'm saying? It looks completely different than what you imagined, but that was because of where your mindset was at that time. We're grown. We don't have children at the home anymore. You know what I'm saying? We have our little junior on the weekends, but for the most part, it's me and Will.
Right.
So, okay, now what does that look like for you and I? Because we don't have the children in the home. It's me and my husband. Okay, we still show up for one another. So it looks different because the dynamic of our lives are different. We're grown, we're older. Our children are gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, this is really nice. And I don't have to have this where we always doing something, and we always this, and we always, because that's what I want. We're gonna be traveling the world. We're gonna see this and see that. Of course, we travels, and I didn't got him at it because he didn't go nowhere. And I said, no, we're gonna do this. We don't have to do it all the time, but we're gonna do this. But it looked different, and I know it looks different for him because it's like, no, we're gonna live. We work hard. We should be able to play hard too. Right. So that's what I say when marriage looks different from what you imagined. And even when you start going through things, you know what I'm saying? How we communicate with one another, and what does that look like? And sometimes we have to pause and be like, you know what? Let's not, like he said, there's still work to do on the what do you choose your battles and how you speak. You know what I'm saying? And so even when those things rise, I'm like, hold up. Okay, that doesn't need to cause old traumas to resurface.
Oh my God.
And what I need to do is I need to make sure that I'm expressing I'm not her anymore.
Right.
I'm different.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask questions. So you have to get used to me asking the questions. That does not mean that I don't trust you, but that means that I'm asking questions for clarity. I need to make sure I understand
exactly
what we're doing, where we're going, and then we go from there. And then we're not speaking to each other in a negative way at all. We don't do that. We're not 20 years old anymore. We're not 17 years old anymore. We're communicating with one another. And so that's what I mean when I say when the marriage looks different, how do we react? How do we respond? So you guys go ahead.
Something that you said about your thought process when your first marriage, and how you felt when you were a little girl and thinking about how you wanted it to be, and then it was the opposite of it. You know what I mean? And ultimately that goes with the person. You know what I mean? You, and also the person that you choose to spend your life with. Peace and chaos, they cannot coexist. And I'm gonna say, and that's within a marriage between two people, and also within yourself, that individually. So you could have within yourself, you can't have peace and chaos at the same time. It don't work like that way. Yes, will, like that's like said, just said, one will take precedence over the other.
Right.
And depending on how you're walking, if you're walking in the flesh, if you're trying to walk in the spirit, will determine which one will take over.
Come on.
When you think about a marriage, and what, you both have to be willing partners. You both have to be willing to work at it. Now, if you're working at it from a flesh or from a not a spiritual perspective, oh yeah. And then the other person is doing the opposite, trying to work at it from a spiritual perspective, yes. Oh, you're going to definitely have friction. Friction is going to be, number one. So,
right.
And if that person their lip service says they want to be in the marriage, but their actions are completely, different. Oh yeah, it's not going to work. It won't work. So
Right.
it takes truly God to uproot things that are within you from your childhood, from on both sides. So if you had some traumatic things happen to you, or that painted the picture of who you are now or at that time, and trying to fight that person in you, you know what I mean, and trying to basically have that uprooted, it takes a lot. God has to go in there and do some sculpting. He has, and you have. But see, the thing is, the fact that we have choice, you have to be willing to do it. Are you willing to do it? You know,
Yes.
willing, and it's individually, so I can come to the marriage, you know what I mean, and whole, and to this person, to know and to love them according to how God wants me to love them, and
Right.
within the marriage, and you have to truly be, Alex said equally yoked, mentally, physically, everything. It goes beyond. It just goes beyond just okay, I do. So
Yeah.
you can have that fairy tale wedding. You can have that marriage. Have the thought process of how you want it, but it truly takes maturity. It takes truly the like I said, the peace and the chaos they cannot exist, and so you have to choose one or the other. You have to,
Right.
and you have to choose it every day. You got
Come
to.
on.
It's not just okay when I said my vows, I do. Oh, you have to make a choice every day.
Every day.
You have
Yes.
to die to thyself every day. You know,
Come on.
and I just say, and I make a conscious effort in it to say, Lord, remove things in me that I don't even know about, that are causing me to act in this behavior. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
You know,
because I don't want that. I want what you want for me. I want the path that you have for me, for this man, for
Come
myself,
on.
my
Come
children.
on.
You know,
Hmm.
pray that, and I speak it, and I live, and I try to live it. You know what I mean? Oh, do
Yeah.
I? Oh yeah, because I be sometimes all over the place. Mm. And I own that, and and what I also something I had to learn too, to be comfortable with who I am, but
Come
with,
on.
you know what I mean, and not try, and I'm the quirky girl. I'm just what do you say? I march to the beat of my own drum. Is that what you say there?
You made your own drum.
Okay, I made my own drum.
Oh, that's all right.
Hey, we got a bass and a snare combined.
That's good. Yeah.
Because of that, and I say, Lord, let don't conform to the world. Let me love me. You know what I
Come
mean? How I am, and then you pour into me to teach me how to love me and love this man according to how you want me to love this man. Support this
Yeah.
man, to support him. Support my children. Support,
Come on.
my adult children. You know what I mean? Because I have to adjust to them as
Come on.
adults and be a
Yeah.
parent to them as adults. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop because they become adults. Oh no,
Come
it's
on, girl.
all the
Yeah.
days of their life. So the same thing with my marriage and this man. We seasons change, we change, but we change together for the better all
Come
the days
on.
of our life. So I'm done for
That's
now.
good right there.
I'm done.
That's good.
I'll allow it.
All right. So do y'all want to share? The men want to, y'all want to caveat to that or add to, or do we want to move on to the next one?
I got an opinion on it, but I want to hear what Will thinks about it. So the question was, how did you envision your marriage or your wedding and all that kind of thing, right? Read the question again, or the statement.
It was when marriage looks different than you imagined.
All right, Will.
Go ahead, babe.
Yeah.
it does, because it is our second time. It's totally different. You know, it's way better. Like she say, we have peace. I'm easy. It don't too much matter to me. She could do what she want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The whole wedding she planned it, and I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. That's what she wanted. That's what she got, and I'm totally fine with it. Everything was great. It was all a blessing. But yes, it is different than I imagined. Because when you go through things, in the first go round, you think about it, how things changed.
Mm-hmm.
You always got, you know, thinking, second guessing, did things really change? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And then, like Keisha how I was raised, it wasn't the best situation. I couldn't see,
Right.
those positive things. A lot of times I couldn't see that positive coming out of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much when I went into it the first time, it was what I knew about it, which
Right.
was absolutely nothing.
Right.
And then
Ooh, that's
you
good,
learn
babe.
as you go, and yeah, you do pick your battles. You
Right.
have to,
Absolutely.
because a lot of things, that don't make sense to me make sense to her. Same thing as you walking to your drum.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Let me say about
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
I'm just saying, it's because we have to be open,
Right.
to different things and to change,
Absolutely.
to accept different things. And in the beginning, the first time around, I was totally different. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I thought I knew, but I didn't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it is totally different
Mm-hmm.
because it's easy. It's easy for me because her and Angel run the house. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and
That's
before you
good,
go,
babe. Before you go, look, baby girl said, "You gonna give me my coins with helping plan that wedding." I was tired, boss.
Where the bread at? That's what I'm
She
talking
a
about.
mess.
Baby girl, yes, baby girl did help.
She a
Absolutely,
mess.
it was me and baby girl. But
baby girl.
she said, "Mom, what do you want?" And she made that thing happen. So yes, that was my wedding planner.
Right. Yeah.
So yes, baby, you got your coins. All right, but go ahead. That was really good, babe. I love that. Yep.
I wanted to
Said,
say, yeah,
oh,
based on what Will said, about you growing up, and he didn't the blueprint that he had, of marriage was, he said nothing. You know what I mean? So, and I'm the opposite. I had my mother and my father. Thank God they're still been married for over 54 years. So thank God.
right.
However, I still, I mean, Cedric, I grew up in like a candy cane, type of house, or thought process, but I had them
You
as
did.
as a template of how I did not.
They grew up singing Lego song, playing the Lego song.
Every part of a team. No,
The Lego song yet? I think they wrote it.
no.
Love it.
I know but I know we were rooted. My mother and my father were very, especially my mama. They were rooted and grounded in God. They and they raised us that way, So we
Yeah.
knew, about marriage, and we knew about commitment. We knew about God having to have, to be the head of your house, and we knew about.
I'm good.
We knew about, my mother taught me at a young age, pray for her husband, pray, you pray for her husband about specifics and what you want. And I just was obedient doing it, but not really knowing, what Lord, I want to go, give me a husband, Lord, give me a husband, but not knowing
Right.
specifics of the details, So when Seth and I got together, I had always had the desire, like you said, of being a wife, you know what I mean? And a mother, and I wanted to do it young. I always wanted to do it young because I said, okay, I can still have the career, I can go to college and whatever, I can do that, but I want to go ahead and have my husband first, and we can do
Yeah.
it together. You know what I mean? Because my mother and my father, that they were like that. My dad in the Air Force, my mom was the nurse, and so they got married young. And what is that? Huh? So yes, when we got married, we were young, and I had this thought process, and he had his, and I'm like, well, you're not gonna do this, and I had my strong will. I did. I was
Yeah.
Right.
I was strong in my and look, marriage. This is what we're supposed to be doing, and I
Yeah.
had to learn how to become a woman and wife to him, and not
Come
just based
on.
on what my parents did and how they were. We had to make it our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was growing on both sides,
That's
growing
right.
growth. And I say, thank you, Lord. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you. Mm-hmm.
All I was gonna say is zippity doo dah, zippity, Mr. Bird on my shoulder. It's sexual, everything. Okay. Listen, when I was writing out some stuff when you said, how you were raised, and what you knew, marriage, about marriage and whatnot. The one thing that I've always said, Bunny and I have this conversation as well. I told her that, most guys, we're out there back in my day, it was G.I. Joe, Transformers, or whatever it was, the big dump truck that we used to have, and you had some construction stuff, you had your skateboards, bikes and whatnot. We wasn't sitting around talking about, man, what you thinking, man? What kind of girl you would look for, man? What kind of wife you looking for? We were on some other stuff, like, man, she got a whatever type of body. She got that's where men were in little boys.
Right.
When I went to the barbershop, I ain't been to the barbershop in years, number one. But when I went to the barbershop, and Will can attest to this, when you go to the barbershop, how many conversations in that round table conversation that's going on at that barbershop involve them saying that? So what's going on? Let's say, Will, you're not married. What's going on, Big Will? Hey, man, me and the fellas was talking the other day while we were shooting pool, man. Man, what kind of wedding, do you imagine what you think your wife is going to be like? Man, it's something that does not, at least from my experience, and if you grew up in a household where the father figure in your household was having these conversations with you about what kind of woman and attributes you look for in a woman and what kind of attributes you should have as a strong man and husband, then God bless you. Yep. Now, I've, in turn, with Eric and Aaron and Terrence is probably the wisest of all three of those boys, and they're going to get mad if they hear me say that. Eric is pretty wise. Aaron is wise as well in his own way. They have their moments where they listen to what I impart upon them, and then they do what they want to do anyway, and that's their right. Okay.
Right.
The one thing that you said, Will, is that this is not something that we have those conversations about. I will tell you that I wasn't sitting around. I wanted love. I wanted to feel loved. I love hard, and so if I get hurt, it's magnified. I can hold on to things because I love so hard. I used to listen to the Quiet Storm and hear those things, and I'm like, man, that the songs would hit because I'm like, dang, man, I wouldn't mind having that. That's where it was. No. I never thought about marriage. I never thought about forever with somebody, one person for the rest of your life and what it should look like. I didn't have an idea that at my wedding, we're going to have this and we're going to be this color scheme and we're going to have these chocolates and we're going to have these centerpieces. I didn't give a crap about none of that. Never thought about it. I personally never saw myself getting married based on what I saw. Now, this is not to say that what I saw within my parents was bad, but I saw a whole lot of stuff that wasn't desirable. Prior to that, me growing up in the South, bouncing from pillar to post and living with multiple people, I was my grandmother on my mom's side. She had a man in her life name was Claude. They weren't married. They used to fight all the time. I saw that. I'm a little bitty thing, about knee high, and I see that. Then I moved to live with my dad's grandmother for a little while. She has a man in her life, Big Pop, Harold Lattimore, right? They didn't necessarily fight, but they sold bootleg liquor. And so I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, as an adult, I register that now. Absolutely. I'm like, what kind of relationship is that? And they talk to each other different. I didn't see a whole lot of hugging. I didn't see a whole lot of affection shown. I went to live with my great grandmother, Miss Annie Mae Bowie, God rest all of their souls. I went to live with her. There was a man in her life, Rufus Lockhart. Toot is what we called him. I done watched her split Toot ear. Toot has some big old ears, by the way. I done watched her split his ear with a boot because he was cussing her and calling her all kind of black things and black this and black that. And you ain't this. And she said, Toot, if you don't hush your mouth. And he just kept going. Now I'm talking about in South Carolina now. Okay.
Come on.
She go upside his head, split his ear. I'm a child. I see this. I said, oh, that's crazy, but I don't know what I'm seeing. To me, that's normal.
That's normal. Come on, right?
Shop. It's normal. She then takes that man to the emergency room, gets sewed up, no charges pressed, and nothing. He come back, ear done swole up bigger than it was. I said, golly, right? And then I finally go live with my, in the meantime, I'm bouncing around with my mom, my natural mother. She may have had friends, but she kept some of that stuff. I didn't see a whole lot, so I didn't see this guy, that guy, this way. But I know she was a single mother, so there was no man there. So what this whole marriage concept, when I joined the military, I didn't have any idea that I was going to run into, Bunny, and things would progress, as fast as they did, because it did. Mm-hmm. And, people will put these timetables on, you got to date for this long and you got to be engaged for this long. And this what we had none of that. I would say realistically from December 2nd to March 17th. On April 1st, we were married.
Oh, wow.
Now, mind you, between that time frame, I'm saying we graduated on December 2nd. I ain't talking about when we went to basic.
I didn't know who you were in basic.
Yeah. So we really got to know each other in AIT. Just so happened we ended up in the same platoon because they started doing the integrated platoon. Yeah. So she happened to be my squad leader. So he had to, talk to me all the time. Regardless,
I used to say, what's your name?
Yeah,
Stowers?
That's a whole different story.
Like Stowers.
Yeah, like you slow. But the point is this. The bigger picture is Black fathers in general, but especially Black fathers. We got to do better with our sons about kind of shaping them to be the kind of men that would make good husbands. That didn't happen. So when I got married at 21, she 19, good husband, man, I love you. I know I love you. I will do anything I will die for you. But I'm big ready to go hit the club one time though. Because I was 21 years old. I was a child. Okay. Right. Today they progress a lot faster for various reasons. Mm-hmm. But back then, I had to get some stupidity out of my system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
because
that's what I'm saying. You said that, but that's a whole different thing. I'm not going to get into that. Right. But the whole point is, Will said it. How I was raised. That's broad.
Right.
Yeah.
But so for men, I will answer your question, Keisha. For men, how I envision. I didn't have a vision, Keisha.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. Man, you want to talk about flying by the seat of your pants, huh? Driving without the seatbelt.
Right.
Hold on. We're doing 140. Hold on.
Right.
I'm about to bend this corner. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. We out of control up in this piece.
Right.
I had no vision. My vision of how I wanted my marriage to be. I knew there were certain things I didn't want to do. Like, I seen this happen. I'm not doing that to this one.
Come on. Yeah.
Seen, like, well, that's how I did it. It was good for me. I seen this happen with me and how I was raised. I'm not doing that to my kids.
Come on. Yeah.
So we can break those cycles, but the one cycle that we seem to have not, that part of that Rubik's Cube that we haven't seemed to solve is how to prepare young men based on our experience to be ready when the time comes, what type of woman to look for. Don't just look for
just the physical.
Big button and smile, that girl is.
Yeah, or the
don't
right.
Goodness
it is.
You feel me? And so we have to, and that doesn't make them soft, right?
That's right.
Because you reserve that. I said, make yourself exclusive. Women, make yourself exclusive. Everybody don't have access to me.
Exactly.
Come on now.
So you make yourself exclusive. You set yourself apart, and then you, in this generation, they got to fight through all these other prerequisites. So if he ain't making 6 figures by the time he's 21 and a half years old, I don't want him. Like, you're going to be alone for a long time.
Period.
What comes with that as well is a whole lot of other problems. You got that much means, that many resources at that young age. You trying to tell me you're going to just be standing there listening to you? You're going to do what he want to do. Right. So there's a whole lot of other things. She too, that can be, vice versa. That can be flipped. So, long story short, no, I didn't have a vision for what I thought it should be. I had no idea, of what a marriage, a good marriage and lasting love really looked like.
Right.
We are not different. You guys, been in each other's lives for over 30 years as well. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, yes.
You made decisions that were best for you guys at the time that say we can't live together, we can't be together, we need to do this. Right. But you found your way back. She and I the only difference is the fact that we went through some crazy stuff, and we was like, well, I don't know. Well, what do you do? Well, no, I ain't leaving. I ain't divorcing you.
We're gonna figure it out
for a little while.
God was healing,
but he was healing it and also helping us to work it out. Like I think that's the part too. I really wanted to be better. I wanted to be free of all those things that were pulling me in these different directions, but I didn't know how to be free.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, and so
you can have to make sure you can.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, even then, like I even have a thing today when we talk about God and prayer, you know, there's things and you just sit there and you like, it says it in the word. And the preacher preached this, and I felt good when he was preaching. Then I walk outside the building, and life smacked me upside my jaw. Woo! How do I apply what that preacher just said? Okay, before I apply what that preacher just said, I'm gonna throw these hands.
I know that's right.
I was there before that song came out too. Right? I had been raised a certain way and restricted, and then when that thing clicked and said, "I don't have to take this from nobody no more," and then I played it cool. Right? I got in trouble one time, and in my unit commander said, "No, that's just somebody with the same name. That can't be our Stowers." Because I was able to. One of my favorite movies is The Devil's Advocate. I was able to not let them see me come. And people start bragging. No, it ain't bragging. It ain't bragging. I'm embarrassed about a lot of this dumb stuff that I was out there doing. It's embarrassing. Yeah. And I thank God for growth and growing past it. So having a vision as to what my marriage should have been like, I had none. And I just pray and thank God that my wife was so patient, that she was so patient with me, and I was so patient with her. You guys were so patient with each other to be where we are today. Now. When? What's important now?
Yeah.
Period.
That's right.
What I like about you two is when like you said, the separation happened and the divorce happened. I loved how you became best friends. You literally became each other. You know, like I can confide in you. You can confide in me. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you why?
And you literally because it's.
Can I tell you why? Hey, can you guys do me a favor real quick?
What?
Let me tell you why. What? I'm not even. Put your hand right here. Like, can you see me?
Both of us?
Yes.
Yeah, both of y'all do it. Can you see anything?
No.
Take it a little bit further away. Can you see anything?
Yes.
It is still obstructed, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remove it. Now you see the big picture. Y'all have to step away. You were too close.
Come on.
To hurt, too close to pain, too close to anger. You had to step away from it. And then he was able to see, like, that's what I had. You, after the growing process,
and the hurt and
that's
all
what
that.
And I just couldn't figure out how to grow.
Yeah, but they became
but
best
now
friends,
that we've grown and become best friends,
yes,
ready. We ready.
Right.
So that's it. That's it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that.
No, baby, you're good.
That's good. Yeah, but that's the truth.
Ooh, let me get some water.
You know, with you guys saying that, even before, because I start feeling Will pulling on me, so I could feel him, and I knew that there was gonna be he was going to want to be back with me. I just felt that, and I said, Lord. And then the prayer that I prayed, it was one trip that I was on the road coming from Colorado, and I said, Father, I need you to help me see him like you see him. Because I had to get past some of the things that had not been dealt with. And like you guys, in my book, I put the letter. You know what I'm saying? I explained what needed to happen. I needed to get past the things that hurt me and things that we hadn't dealt with. We hadn't even talked about ever since we divorced. We just became best friends and we helped each other with anything that we had going on. But we never revisited us and where we were at in that time. And so I was on one of my drives. Y'all know I call it my highway therapy. And I said, Father, I need you to cause me, remove the blinders from my vision so I could see Willie Greene the way you see him. And literally, I begin to see him, and I said, man, okay, thank you, Father. And he removed the scales from my eyes because I was still blinded from some things that we had went through,
Right.
some hurts, some pains. I needed, like in the book, in my book, I wrote in the letter, I said, when he apologized for everything he did, that tore everything down. And he listened to me. At first, he didn't want to. He fought it. He was like, you ain't finna be bringing this 15-page letter, 20-page letter to me and reading it to me. And I said, okay, you know what? Then fine. We won't have this conversation then. Because God told me for me first to read the letter to myself. I forgot all about the letter. I wrote this letter over before we divorced, probably like 5-6 years before we divorced. And I never presented it to him, never sent it to him because he lived in New Mexico. I was in Colorado. We never visited the things that we literally had went through. And so when I started feeling him pulling on me, those emotions, those feelings, everything started resurfacing, said, and this is exactly where I was.
You were standing close to your
I prayed, yeah. And I had guarded. I had put up my walls and I said, no. Me and him are going to remain friends because it's best this way. We have become best friends. And I don't want to mess that up. And even thinking about being back with him and we go through the same crap, I'm going to lose my friend.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. And so that's when I prayed. I said, Father, allow me to see him how you see him. And is this who you have for me? You said you was going to give me a new man. And I thought I was going to receive a new man. Listen, I thought I was going to receive a new man in the flesh, a totally different person.
Yeah.
But God said, this is your new man.
Mm-hmm.
You have been able to witness and to see, since you've been in New Mexico, the fruit that comes from his tree. You're seeing his character. You're seeing how chill he is. You're seeing everything that you've been praying for. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still scared. Even though I'm seeing some things, I'm still afraid that he'll hurt me again.
Right.
And this time I probably really have to cut him.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So remove the scales, remove the blinders from me. And I begin to see this man for who he is today. And even we evolve every single day. We grow and we mature every day. But you're absolutely right, said I had to pray and ask God to remove it so I could see him. I said, and the best thing that we have had is we became best friends. And so today, even when we have challenges or whatever, disagreements or what have you, I have to remember, this is my dog.
Mm-hmm.
This is my dog. This is my ride or die. This is my forever. God didn't keep us connected for 30-some years for no reason.
Right. Yeah.
And why? Because there's divine purpose and a destiny that he has set before us. Mm-hmm. I tell him all the time, babe, this is bigger than you and I. Mm-hmm. Our marriage, our relationship is way bigger than you and I.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I said, and said, you're absolutely right. I had a vision for how I wanted my marriage to be or my husband, but I wasn't taught that either. God put that in me as a young girl. I didn't see that in my mom either. She was a single parent. You know what I'm saying? And she was with you. She had her boyfriends or whatever. Some of them beating her. I'm fighting them, beating them for her. You know, these are the different things that I saw as well. You know, and whoever hasn't read the book, let me just put the little plug in there. Y'all learn about my life in She Touched the Hem of His Garment. You know, and I didn't have that example either. My mom and dad, they divorced. They was married for a short period of time, maybe a few years, just maybe 2, 3 years, maybe if that. And I was 3 years old when they divorced. And my mother, she did not remarry. And so she's always been a single mother. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I saw. And then I wasn't taught, well, this is how you're supposed to be this a woman. You know, this is what you look for in a man. Sister, I am so grateful. Praise God that you had your mama and daddy as your example to be that strong foundation. So you had that early on and you knew what it looked like and what to expect or what you needed to do because you had mom and daddy rooted and grounded in the Lord. My mom was we went to church. She was in the Lord, but my mom, she gave me what she was taught.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so I had no clue. I had a vision because God told me long time ago. And I even wrote it down, you guys. I knew how my home was going to look and everything as a young girl, you know, but it didn't look like that. And I was like, why? And like, you know, Will said we wasn't ready. You know, I was ready, but I was so immature and I would do anything that I needed to do to make sure I showed this man approved that I was enough.
Right.
Am I enough? I'm not enough. How can I be enough? Okay. And we talk about submission. I was the epitome of submission. But understand this, you guys have got to understand the difference between submission when it's healthy and when it's not.
Mm-hmm.
We are supposed to submit one to another, not one person submitting to one.
Right.
Because I'm the man of the house, this is how it's gonna go. This is what I say, this is what you gonna do. You hold up, drill sergeant.
Hey.
You take that to work, not home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and you know, and so I submitted to that. And then it got to the point to where I said, why can't I have what God showed me? I won't. I told this is who I be talking about. We was walking around the lake and I said, you have no idea what it feels like. I'm not coming against you, babe, or anything, but this is what I was feeling. What it feels like for your husband not to be in love with you. Sometimes he don't even like you. What do I need to do to fix me so he will love me and like me? But all along, guess what? It was not Keisha. It was like he said, it was my upbringing. It was what I saw, and I thought it was okay. And then from what he saw, he went into the military, and they drilled that they talking crazy too. I said, that's why I ain't never joined the service because ain't nobody gonna talk to me crazy like that. But then I had that in my home. See what I'm saying? And so I submitted to that authority, not understanding he's not submitting to God.
Mm-hmm.
He don't even know what that looks like.
Right.
So where are we going? Where are you getting your authority from? Where are you getting your leadership from? From nobody but what you saw. And vice versa. I'm submitting because my mom took everything. She took a beating. She took abuse. She took the lashes. People talking crazy, men talking crazy to her. And then she let them right back in her home with us. So this is what I saw. So guess what I did? I stuck and stayed. And I thought that was what I want stability. At least I have. It may not be good, but at least I have someone. No. So that's ooh, okay. Woo, that's deep.
That's a dangerous place to be. You know, that's dangerous.
What'd you say, Said? I couldn't hear you, huh? I'm sorry.
I said that's a dangerous place to be with the at least.
At least, yeah.
You know, again, we're talking about marriage and lasting love, but these things are life. That at least mentality, at least whatever, will keep you in situations that are not healthy, you know. And so, yeah, I'm glad God delivered you from that. I'm glad God worked and moved the way He worked and moved. That we're here doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I'm so glad about it. There's so many different topics coming out of this. You know, just in general. You know, that can encourage our young women too, to not just look at your uh, most people. I guess when they set their standard, they're looking for security already. They want the security blanket already in place and want to just step right into it. And a lot of folks are not willing to grow in in you know, they're not willing to grow and put in the work.
Right.
It is literally work. I'm gonna share something with you, right? Because we talk about men. We process things way different. We process hurt different. We process anger different. We process disappointment different. And sometimes the way that we process it in destructive ways. It becomes destructive. Now we're not going to destroy you, but we will destroy ourselves.
Yep.
And in the process, you are collateral damage to a broken man. Okay.
Right.
What I mean by that is sometimes it's the women in our lives too that will break us, but sometimes we won't open our mouth. We won't say this. Whatever, we just internalize it, we process it, and whatever comes out is what comes out.
Right.
I'll say this: when I was in the military, I was in Germany. I got sent to Dhahran, Saudi Arabia for 6 months. 6 months, April of '97 till September of '97. I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question. If you get deployed for 6 months, you're getting hazardous duty pay, you're getting your regular pay, and every now and again you say, "Hey, can you send me a box? Can you send me a package like some little ding dongs, ho hos, and granola bar, whatever? Send me a little box every now and again." But you're deployed. You're over in Saudi Arabia. You don't need much at all. So you're 6 months now, and you come back in September, and you're all happy. Now back then we ain't make much in the military. I think I was over there. I was an E4.
No, you're E3.
Something like that. I know I hadn't made no rank yet.
You were
E3.
when you moved.
Yeah, I was an E3. No, I turned E5 when we moved to Colorado. I got pinned E5 August 28th. When I reported to, and it was effective September 1st.
Right.
When I reported in '98 to Fort Carson. So anyway, in '97,
Yeah.
so I come back in September, April to September. I come back, go to AFES, Armed Forces Bank or whatever, check my thing. I got $700 something in my account. And I'm like, hey, I got $700. I'm like, then saw a light bulb. So I go, wait a minute. I've been deployed 6 months. I haven't spent no money.
Right.
Question. How would most men react to something like that? So a lot of times we say, well, men, our reaction is going to be different. We're going to close our mouth. We're going to internalize it, but we're going to be mad as I don't know what. Then what for me, my go-to is, well, you don't give a F, I don't give a F. So
Right.
then now I start doing destructive spending. I want it. I want them 12s. I'm going to get them 12s. I don't care. We ain't got the money. Oh, well, because I'm mad, but I ain't expressed to you that I'm mad about coming home with, and only having $700 in the account after being deployed for 6 months. Right?
Right.
Never brought it to her. I looked around, I seen new drapes, new carpet,
Everything.
new whatever. The boys, so I said, it wasn't wasted. The boys are good. The house looks great. We good. Well, how many women could, and I'm not making this a man versus woman, I'm just talking about the way men process things versus
Right.
women process things.
Mhm.
We process our hurt different. I was hurt,
Mhm.
and we process our anger different.
Mhm.
And it becomes, we process it in destructive ways. And so just to shed some light on the mindset of how we get to where we get to, sometimes it's like, okay, well, this is what happened and this is the result, but how did we get there?
Right.
then you got to go back and take inventory of those things. Well, this is how I was feeling. That's what I mean. Marriage and lasting love, we've grown to the point where that's a non-issue anymore.
Come on.
Because I can tell you this, God be pleased, we've never had account. Well, that's my account. That's your account. For us. Now that's just works for us. My grandparents.
And your dad.
My dad, man, the income tax check come, the whole house is turned upside down. It's trying to determine who get the most amount. Well, I work.
Oh Lord.
Income tax time come around, boy, the house is in turmoil. So I said, man, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't. And again, you knowing who I saw in this woman, I didn't see a taker's spirit.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we just process things differently. And as you know, as time has passed, both in your marriage and in ours, I think I personally have learned, thank God. I thank God that the moments where I feel some type of way, it's few and far between. I'm more overstimulated by things that happen on my job than things that happen within this house. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
So people like we work together at Michelin. People, I don't know how you work with your wife. I couldn't work with my wife. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, I'm cool.
Well, you got to think about who we began. That's how we began.
Yeah,
we began in the military.
Right. And I understand, folks, when you need a break,
we established like it was a frienddship before we even became even.
Come on.
He was like literally my best friend. I would watch him how he would interact with this, with our platoon and the other people, and he was just funny. But when what really drew me to him was just when it was time to get down to like the seriousness and the business. I'm not gonna go in the whole spiel. I'm not. It's the truth, because that's how we began. That's what the point I'm getting to is we began that way, and so when it came to like the seriousness and then his intellect, that just blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, what? Hold on, because I thought he was his joke.
You're like, oh, you smart.
Man, because for me, I couldn't. Okay, yeah, you could.
Like, who this silly brother right here?
No, no, but it was like because looks they change as you get older. You know what I mean? So I need you to stimulate. I don't need you to just to be a physical. I need to be stimulated mentally. And
come on now.
And I saw that I was like, oh my gosh, she blew my mind.
She said, coming to America was like, you need to stimulate my intellect as well.
Right. Yeah.
He still does that because I'm like, how do you put these words? Where do these thoughts come from? He'll just say some random. We'll have a conversation, or he'll see something. And he just says random things, but the way he puts the words together, and I'm like, where did that come from? And I'm like, everybody doesn't have that. That is a gift from God.
Right.
Gift. And I say, you better use that gift how God wants you to use the gift.
Absolutely.
Use it. You know what I mean? Look. He a whole mouthpiece. He really does. And he passed to Terrence, Eric too, and Aaron. They got their own little gifts. But I'd be like, man. So, and that's what I was like. You need this, and that's what drew me to him. He stimulated my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, because like I said, I couldn't have it. Let's just be honest. I couldn't be somebody who was just straight dumb. You know, like I just
right. You know what I'm saying?
Be like, you know what I mean? There wouldn't be any. Stop. I just didn't know that. I did. That was just. I'm telling my truth. That's my truth.
Yeah.
Let me give you some water. Let me get the fan.
But you know what, sister? You're absolutely right because that's. I say it all the time. Stimulate my mind, and when I come to you and I ask you a question,
right?
Even if you, because I go to Will, and because I'm constantly thinking. God is constantly downloading things on the inside of me, and I'll listen to something and I'll go and take it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, right, yeah, babe, that's right," and then boom, 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 we have this conversation,
right?
And his intellect. We're having that is sexy to me, girl. Come on. I say, if you can stimulate my mind, then look, let's have this conversation like this. And then too, what we going, the vision that you have set for us, now I got something to come in agreement with.
And you can't
Now
just
I
be
got something to
behind
roll. You just you
Yeah.
can't just come
Yeah.
foolishness. No, but he's very wise, you know, and I love that. If I can come to you and we can have a conversation, and that's sexy. That's grown and sexy
Right.
to me.
Right. Now, it's true to piggyback on what you're saying as far as stimulating and intellect and all that, but you couldn't just be like straight up just ugly.
Poindexter.
You couldn't be ugly to me. I mean, you come on. I mean, we talk about physical,
No.
but no. Let's
Oh no, we got to be attractive now. Come on, we ain't doing that.
Y'all are a mess.
We no that come on, we ain't even doing that. Okay, so very last one. There was a couple more, but we didn't go on over praise. Really good. We pray that this is blessing y'all because it's blessing me. But one last question: what did you have to do? Is that how we? What did you have to abandon in you to have a successful marriage? What did you have to abandon in you? What did God have to cut for you to make sure that your marriage is successful? Thus far.
Yeah. Attachments to the past. Attachments to recognizing that I had childhood trauma, man. We do a terrible job of recognizing the triggers, the things that trigger us in our life. We do a terrible job of recognizing that. And again, as a man, because I had this pain, I had this lust, I had this restless spirit, inside me. It was driving my actions. I can take care of you and still do this. I can be good to you and still do this. I can be a good husband, bake you a cake for your birthday and still do this. I can help you relax your hair and still do this. I'll take you out on Friday so I can go out on Saturday. I will do your nails when you want to experiment with those acrylics, and I'll help you with that. I'll do that. I don't care if my partners come over. Dude, you bake cakes and do hair and do nails too? My wife, you can go home.
Come on.
That's right.
But then at the same token, I still had this restless nature that I always wanted to be in the mix. I felt like I was always missing something. So what God had to cut out of me? Yeah, he had to cut lust out of me. He had to cut that restless spirit out of me. I never was big on a whole lot of, I've never really been, insecurity. Oh boy, being told, boy, you black as the ace of spades. Boy, I bet you leave fingerprints on charcoal. Making me think something was wrong with my skin because I was just heavily metal, right? So being told all kinds of things that stick with you. People think trauma is physical, that is just blatant and in your face with bad, saying, bad things about you. I had a girl tell me one time, you'd be cute if you wasn't so black on the school bus. And she was challenging in the face.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. That was good. She was challenging.
She had a lot going on in the face.
Okay.
Say that back to her. So I took it. And I internally, then years later, I'm like, man, why was I even listening to that? And I said some things, rhymes with fugly. But that girl, because you
Dre is crying, laughing.
You have some things going on. So when we speak about that, so God had to cut all of that. He had to cut the pain away. He had to cut the lust away. He had to cut the restless spirit away. Yeah, Drea. Hey, she was girl.
Oh my God.
In the face.
No.
Yeah, that's what he had to take from me just to make me a better person, much less a better husband.
Yeah.
Understand? I don't think you really knew or what you saw.
Oh, no, I saw that you were a good person there.
Yeah. I mean, I pride myself.
I just didn't know.
I told Bunny, I said, I asked my mama. I said, Mom, was I a mean-spirited child? She said, no, you was always a sweet baby and a sweet child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I got it. My uncles used to make us fight.
Like what?
There's these two kids that lived next door named Thomas and Tyrone. My uncles used to take masking tape and put it sticky side up, wrap it around my hands to make little, pads for the knuckles.
Right.
And they used to make me and this guy fight. Like we was 3 pit bulls. We used to just fight. And I remember, sometimes I get the best of one of them. Sometimes they get the best of me. That was just a rite of passage the way I grew up. You can't be soft and all this. You don't know how to process that though. Terrence always say, I had an undeveloped frontal lobe or something.
Yeah, he said my frontal lobe is underdeveloped.
Underdeveloped. So I don't know how to process all that. So one day I get the better of one of Baya, getting good in the nose. And he crying. My uncles are going crazy. I could tell when we got our food stamps because we would always have fried chicken, pinto beans and rice, and some good old cornbread and some vegetables, like usually green beans or something. I could tell when I was like, yeah.
Come on, a good meal. Good meal.
Good. Well, I know about that government cheese today. So
what you talking about for real?
That my grandmother, God rest her soul, she called us in the house. I told me to go wash my hands. I got the good red Kool-Aid ready and all of that. While I'm washing my hands, I started crying.
Mm-hmm.
I started crying. My uncle was like, man, you a punk. What you in here crying for? I was like, man, because I done busted old boy nose. I mean, I ain't want to do that.
Right.
But again, these are things that when I got older, one, you ain't nobody finna punk me. Because I was afraid to fight all throughout. After I went to live with my dad, I was afraid to fight and stand up for myself. Because I didn't want to get a whooping, didn't want to get in trouble. So then when I went in the military, I played football, same thing. Didn't want to hardly stand up for myself. But I had to come out of that shell a little bit. Went to North Carolina A&T, got into some things, and my partners on the football team was like, "Man, say it, okay, no worries." So now that feels kind of good.
Right?
It feels kind of good. I don't want to do that. You do what you got to do and tip on up out of there before the people show up and you get hemmed up. So I go in the military, same thing. So and so going on. Don't want to get in trouble. Get anyway. Get past that. Still stuck on a little bit of stupid. So when I would get into these situations, that thing clicks, and I ain't got to take this from nobody. Right. So God had to cut all of that away.
Come on.
That you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm just not gonna put myself in a position to be hit. How about that?
Come on. There you go. There you go.
I ain't got to worry about cracking your jaw or you cracking mine.
Yeah.
I'm not Billy Bad. You know what? You know what I mean? I just thank God ain't nobody ever put me to sleep, but it don't mean it can't happen.
Right.
So I'm not going to put myself in those positions anymore. I ask God to take that away from me. Yeah. Take that I got to stand up and prove myself. My worst thing that my mama could have told my brother when he got in trouble is the next time I see you, I guess I'll be calling you Miss Mario. The worst thing she could have told that boy, because he made it a point not to let nobody turn him into Miss Nothing. He lives his life that way, and I ask God to not do nothing to nobody. So those are the things that God had cut out of me and uprooted it.
Right.
To the point where it should be embarrassing when you look back and see how you once were. It should be embarrassing, but also liberating at the same time.
Right. That's good said. That's good. Sissy.
Oh gosh.
That's good.
I'm sorry. What's the question?
It was what did
uproot and take out of you in order for you, cut out of you in order for you to have a successful marriage?
Also wrapped up in him,
in you, what? Some independence.
Oh, yeah.
Independence.
Oh, you know that too, sis?
Learn who you were.
Mhm.
You were as a woman, as a lady. Learn what you like. Know whatever it is that you like. No.
Yeah, independent pussy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm so wrapped up in him, in him and trying to help him and free him and liberate him and help him. And I was, and he used to
be saved.
Yeah, and he would tell me, he said, "Baby, I can't get into heaven on your coattail. I can't do that.
Come
I can't."
on now.
I used to be, and it took a lot for me because the person that I am, I give literally my all. But it was to a detriment, you know what I mean, to basically for myself, who was pouring back into me. You know what I mean? If
Right.
it wasn't me, who else was pouring back into me and trying to take care of, him and the house and the kids and things like that. And so even now I still work on that because, where we are.
You went to Jacksonville a couple times.
Oh, no. What I mean by that is
never have done that.
Yes, but I mean,
don't you want to go? No.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I told you, but I have to refocus too, because sometimes what I do is I'll, like I said, I'll go into, doing things like, oh, okay, well, I can get this. I can start in my mind picturing, oh, I can do this, and I'm gonna wear this, buy this, and wear this when we go here. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? But I got all this mess. You know what I mean? All this
right.
Spending out.
Yes, cut the spending out of me.
Spending out, but
yeah.
Got a brother out here. Oh,
Right.
Extra dollars for delivery today. I'm going.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
hey, we'll keep it $1 billion.
Yeah, and it's just that, but it's just like my independence. I think that definitely is it, because I don't know. I just, the people that I love, I it's not just from a relationship, marriage, but just the people that I love, I give my all, to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I do. I just, balancing my independence, you know what I mean, and remembering that, yeah, that's still going. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Good job. I love it, babe.
Yeah.
What did you have to abandon? What are you for us to have a successful marriage, or for something for you as well?
For the most part, I think my foolish pride. I'm really prideful, but I had to tone it back. In the beginning, it was all about me and the things that I wanted, and that's just the way it was. I think I had to cut that back. My foolish pride. I'm still prideful, but I had to tone it back a lot because, like I say, the way I was raised, the man is the man. But, in Keisha J, we talk about it all the time. I treat my son totally different, because I don't want him to be able to see, how I was raised. It wasn't horrible, but it was hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, being that foolish pride that I had to cut back the most.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
see that's growth. That's growth. You know what I mean? You see it, and you're like, man.
Yep.
And you do your comparison. You're like, I don't want to be that person again. I don't want to be that person anymore. And you make up in your mind, I'm not going to be that person. You know what I mean? And then of course, when you make up in your mind, that means you've chosen God to help you to uproot it and get that back out of you. I mean, because pride, you're using your pride that you have now that God has given you in the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's your strength. It could be your weakness, or it could be a strength. Now you're using it as your strength.
Proud
to that.
Your woman, proud to make sure
that
she's in a safe space. Proud to make sure your family's good.
Everything.
Proud to make sure your daughter's straight.
Yep.
That's a different type of pride.
That's a good pride.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wear it, bro.
S on your chest. That's right.
No, that's right.
He's got an S on his chest. Superman. Yeah. But it's okay to be Clark Kent. Yeah, that's good. I think that's really good, babe. For me, it's insecurity.
Oh yeah.
I had to really get to a place where I was secure in who I was and who I am. and like you guys will hear me say all the time, I am enough.
Mm-hmm.
And God created me. I'm a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. If you ever hear anybody say, I ain't never seen nobody like you, you're right. Because I am me, and so I had to develop in that and really like and love Keisha.
Mm.
And that's where I'm at today. And for me, that's so powerful, you guys, because if you're insecure, that comes against everything, who you are, your identity, everything. And somebody will begin to mold you into who they think you should be if you're not secure in who you are.
Yeah.
So that's been mine, is insecurity. I had to really grow in that, and I did before we even got back together. I was there. I'm there, and that's why I said I'm grown. I'm a dog. I'm a grown woman dog.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then trust.
Oh, yeah.
I had to lay that down, because you guys, I trust God with everything.
Amen.
But I didn't trust man.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. And so even in our marriage with my husband, it was, if he would say something to me that it would make me feel less than, and it wasn't intentional, but I would feel like he was coming against me as a person.
Right.
And I would get so angry. How when you get angry, you feel it on the inside of you. Mm-hmm. And I felt that. It was just like rising up in me. And what he said one day to release me from that, he said, one day you'll understand that I'm for you and not against you.
Wow.
I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to protect you.
That's beautiful.
And that let that wall down, because all my life I've been experiencing disappointment,
right,
discouragement, people making me feel like I was less than. Right. So I had to know, Keisha, you are perfectly fine the way you are. As a matter of fact, you are very good.
Amen.
God said you are very good, and I am his masterpiece.
Amen.
So that was insecurity. I had to really hone in on that in my single season. And that's when that developed. And I purposed, intentionally did that. And I spent a lot of time in my secret place with my father. And I said, Father, I trust you, but I don't trust them. Ooh. So I had to let that guard down as well and allow myself to trust my husband with me again. Mm-hmm. I said, now I can trust me with you. And I'm safe. And I remember at my wedding, my brother, back when we did the reveal to Rockman, he said, and I remember these words, he said, it's okay now. It's okay now. You're going to be just fine. And that was another where I was able to say, Father, okay, I trust you. Now I trust this man with me again. So that's what I had, that was mine. I had to really, that insecurity and trust in man versus, because I trust my God. He has never left me nor forsaken me. Mm-hmm. And I know that I have him. If I don't have anybody else, I have him. Amen. And that is everything. But okay, now I've blessed you with what you've been praying for your husband. And I need you to trust him too. Mm. So that's what I had to.
He's a new man.
He's a new man. Yes. So what, baby girl? That's very good, Dad. Also have to adjust and get used to not being by myself. Yes, knowing, okay, my wife is here. Now, how can I adjust to make sure she feels safe? Yes. And that's exactly what I was just saying. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, baby girl.
No. You on it, boy.
You're supposed to say thank Your baby girl.
With that analysis, boy.
Typing
It's
quick
like
too,
we have
huh?
the Marriage and Lasting Love podcast by Wakisha, with the Unlimited You podcast, and analysis by Andrea.
Right.
Analysis by
That's right.
I love it.
Yes. I love it. So look, that was wonderful, you guys. Let me see. Let's open it up real quick. Have y'all that's listening, have y'all been blessed tonight? We have gone 2 hours, almost 2 hours.
That's
We
normal,
were
right?
stopping the flow of God. It's normally an hour.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was not stopping the flow of God.
Amen.
There were things that were said tonight that needed to go forth to be a blessing to someone else, right? And I absolutely was blessed. I hope you guys were blessed. Y'all put in the chat real quick if y'all were blessed tonight, and then you guys, any last minute comments that you would love to share with the listeners, those that are listening now or those that are listening later. Let's see what baby girl. Yeah, trusting goes hand in hand. Have you proven to me that you are capable of handling me emotionally, mentally, etc., in order for me to trust you?
Mm-hmm.
Love this? Yes. Yes. And she said something so key. Have you proven to me that you are capable of handling my emotionally, mentally, etc., in order for me to trust you? Yeah. Because understand this, God says, prove me in this, right? Test me in this, because he shows up for us every single day.
Yeah.
And he has proven how much he loves us. That's why I have no problem with trusting my Heavenly Father. Because he has never let me down. He's even carried me when I couldn't walk, when I couldn't crawl. He picked me up and carried me. So I know I can trust you, Daddy. But can I trust you with me? And you know what? Vice versa. And
Right.
my Heavenly Father can tell me. He tells me, and I trust you with me. I know you can trust me with you, but can I trust you with me?
Mm-hmm.
My people, I can trust you. That's why he gives us purpose and destiny. And he said, okay, now I can trust you with my people.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, praise God. Yeah, all good. Amen, Mama. Yeah, definitely was a blessing. I love it. Love it. Love it. This assignment went forth. All right. So I think we're good. Any last minute encouragement or comment that you guys would like to say?
I would just tell you're doing a great thing. You're consistent. You're faithful to what you're doing with the Unlimited You podcast. Very consistent, and regardless of how many people, a lot more people will sit around and they'll watch and they'll see what's going on, but they won't say nothing. They'll sit and they'll watch and they'll see and they won't say anything. I literally had that happen to me where somebody reached out and said, "Hey, why aren't you doing XYZ anymore?" And I'm like, I didn't even know y'all was paying attention to that. So one thing I can say about you, you are tenacious. When you set your mind to something. So without getting too wordy, just keep being who you are. Everybody on this panel, man, keep being who you are. Keep being a light. Keep being a beacon for people that didn't even know they needed a light or a beacon.
Come on.
They didn't need it.
Yeah.
They don't know they need it. They don't know. And who cares that it went 2 hours? I mean, I've wasted 2 hours playing Battlefield, a video game.
Right.
Got nothing from it at all.
Right.
So man, listen, ain't got nothing. So this thing when God is moving, let God and let it go how it goes. So stay strong, sis, brother. Stay strong.
Sure.
I love y'all.
Yes, we love you so much.
Keep doing the good work. Keep fighting the good fight. That's all I got.
Love you to life.
Yeah. I love y'all too, man.
Yeah, love y'all too, and vice versa. Thank y'all so much. for just any time that I call on you or I need you or anything like that. You guys are there. And I thank you. Bro, you said you talked to me a while ago about relational equity.
Relationship equity.
Relationship equity. And we have it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we're blessed by that. I'm reading this book right now. Well, one of the books I'm reading, it's called by Dr. Darius Daniels, called Relationship Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a blessing. And so I just want to say we want to say thank y'all for coming on here and being a blessing. Continue to be who you are as well. Continue to be the great example, for many. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all so much. And this blessed me tonight as well, just to hear different perspectives and where you're at and how you've, been so a key factor in what it looks like to walk this thing called marriage out and love, intentional love, choosing each other every single day, and vice versa. Husband, thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
coming in agreement. You know, yeah, because he's not the social media, the podcast. He just don't do things like that. And I know you are. So thank y'all.
We're in the same level.
And so, but when I told him at the
that song for you, I will.
For you, I will. Yes. And he's done that, because I said, babe, I have a bigger vision for the podcast, for this show. And I said, I would love for you to join at least one Sunday a month, for you to join us. And we have these conversations about, life or whatever God wants us to speak about, with you guys, with bruh and sis, Audra and Jeremiah, my cousin Smokey, JJ, whoever, but I would love for you to join me at least once a month on the pod so they can see you and I, this unit, this covenant, walking this thing called life out together. He didn't rebuttal. He didn't do anything. He said, okay.
That's what's up.
And I said, thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And because he understands the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand, like you said agreement. We're in agreement. You guys are in agreement. And when we agree with God, is not we can only succeed. Right? So we love y'all so much. And thank you. We said I appreciate that, honey. And times I do, and we grow, I wouldn't say weary, but I do question. I'm like, okay, Father, am I still supposed to be rolling? What give me wisdom on every we're getting next month. This podcast is approaching 5 years. Next month, sharing that with my brother would say it. I said we getting ready to embark on 5 years next month.
And 5 years.
Oh,
mine. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And God is, he's still pouring. He's still giving me wisdom, in the direction that he would have us to go. So I thank you guys for your partnering with us.
Come alongside.
And we love that in life, right? And in whatever assignment God has for us, we are partnering and we're in agreement together. So we're blessed, and y'all know we love you.
Absolutely.
And you know what, said y'all keep doing what y'all doing as well, because people see it. They see it, they experience it. When you show up, you show up. I always say when people meet us, they don't just meet us, they experience us, because they're experiencing Jesus in us, right? In and through us. And that's what we want. Yes. We want them to see, not by just lip service, but we want for someone, when they see us and encounter us, experience us, they experience, oh, they're different.
Yeah.
Different. They got a relationship with Jesus. Yeah, we do. For real, for real. This is we're not playing. We are the church. We're not playing. We're not playing this. This is not a game. This is real life. Lasting love, marriage and lasting love. So with that, we're gonna shut her down. But we love y'all so much. Y'all two stay put for a minute. But we love y'all. Until next time, have a beautiful Sunday. Rest well.
Yes.
God bless y'all. Yes. Mm-hmm. Love y'all. Good night. Look.
I don't know. Yeah, Bunny used to do her like that. Oh. Super soldier.
Right. But we love y'all. Good night.
I like her. I like her a lot.